guys, I am Patty Elhoff. I'm the author of Upcycle with Decoupage. Today's project is going to be an upcycled picture frame that was just plain old bare wood. As you watch the video, I'll show you the before picture so that you can see the complete difference. This was just a plain wooden frame with a picture in it. And I'm going to show you how I added these elements on here. None of this was here. And how actually you can look on Google to find out how to make this. It's called faux mercury glass. It gives the mirrored look. And I'll tell you now what we're going to need to do this, but I also want to let you know I did this video from backwards to forwards, so I apologize ahead of time if it seems a little choppy. I'm going to do some editing and hope that I can make it enjoyable for you and that it makes sense. It did take a couple of days, but I'm quite happy with the outcome. So I will let you know what we need to get started, and I will then show you all the steps that I took to complete this. For right now, I'm going to dismantle everything and get to work on sanding the frame. I will be using a medium grit sandpaper along here to sand this. I tore off the backing here, all the paper, and I'm going to have to sand some of this away too. These little tabs right here, I'm just using a butter knife to go in. Push those up. There's the glass frame. And now we'll get started on sanding the frame. Alright, so this is sanded as much as I can sand it. Now, obviously, the best frame to work on probably would just have a nice flat surface somewhere. This is an old frame, and I'm being determined and stubborn that I'm going to turn this from trash into something that I really like. So my next step is I'm going to use some wood filler, and I've already put it in a lot of the frame, and it's dry and it's staying, and I'll just sand it down. Now that this section is dry, I'm going to take the very heavy grit nail file, and I'm just going to file this down. I don't know if you can see it that well. Let's try and close up. This sands so easily and smooth. I ended up using a sander. I think this is called a palm sander. And I used this palm sander because using the smaller file was taking too long. Now I'm going to put the stencil on the frame and use some painter's tape to keep it in place. And here's where we'll need the Deco Art. It says printable texture paste that you can just buy in the craft store as of 2013. You can apply this with your finger, a butter knife, a credit card. I have a plastic butter knife, and I'm going to use that to apply this. This is very light and airy. And I'm going to hold the stencil down a bit and apply this dimensional paste. It's really important to hold this down And after I applied this, the length of the frame, I took the serrated edge, just kind of leveled it out. Now I'm going to take this stencil off. Instead of continuing on up the frame this way, I am going to go over to the other side and let this side dry. As far as this goes on here, you can take a slightly damp cloth and wipe that off. You may be able to scrape some of it off and put it back into the jar, but you probably should wash this off at the very least. Just get this paste off of here. I put some wax paper down. I'm going to take some paper clay out about the size that I think it should be. Cover the wax paper over this and just roll it out. So I rolled that out. I put a little bit of, and I mean a drop of olive oil on my hands and rubbed it in so that my hands just feel a tiny bit oily, and I'm going to rub this piece of metal because I want to use that as the release so nothing gets stuck, none of this paper clay gets stuck in these grooves. I'm putting a lot of weight on that. Now when I pull it away, you can see there is nothing stuck. Thank goodness, nothing stuck on there. You've got this beautiful imprint inside of the paper clay. And I'm going to cut this out with a knife. These paper clay ornaments are dry now. Let me see if I can close up. Some of this is a little rough, which I like, because if I'm going to make this piece look a little aged, I want these little indentations in here. But you can also go around the edge and very easily file. This is one of those heavy grit nail files. I'm done painting the frame and everything on it with gesso. I went online and I looked up how to make chalk paint. Just Googled how to make chalk paint because there's some very, very expensive, beautiful, shabby colors out there by, I can't even remember the name of the woman. It's just so expensive to buy the paint that even though it goes a long way and it is beautiful, if there's a way I can do it myself, naturally I will. So I'm now going to paint this with this mixture that I made, and I got a sample of paint at the Home Depot. So that's like a cup size. It'll be perfect for this with some left over. I added this plaster of Paris and some water, and I now have this what seems like a pancake batter thickness of paint. I'm going to paint the whole frame, and I will come back when I'm done painting. I am going to use a bristle brush. I think a sponge brush would fall apart in here. And now I'm going to take some well-used Martha Stewart metallic glaze in the mercury. So I'm starting to at least see more of my work here, the dimensional stencil. And I'll go around the whole frame and complete that and show you what the frame looks like when this part is done. And this will probably be the final step with the frame. We just need to do one more thing to the glass that goes back inside. Here's the completed project, which is now a shabby, vintage-looking mirror. And I will be listing this on Etsy, and as soon as I have it packaged properly, because it's very fragile. So I'll put the link on this video as soon as I list this on Etsy. And I will tell you that I did look into the shipping. It's $20-some to ship it. But what I will do is I will cut the shipping in half so that I only charge $10 for the shipping, okay? And there is the completed project outside in a little sunlight. Maybe you can get a better idea. Sorry if the camera's a little shaky, we're not on the tripod. And once again, thanks a lot for watching my videos. As always, I welcome your questions and comments, and please go on ahead and subscribe. That makes my day, as do all of your questions. And I'll see you guys next week.